Welcome to the channel. This is Raymond. If you are an entrepreneur who is considering setting up in Hong Kong for your global business, you probably have the questions about opening the business account, such as your options, how to open one, and how it works, especially when you are a foreigner living and working outside Hong Kong. Today, I am at the Hong Kong office of Airwallex, one of the leading global fintech companies that helps business account service. With me is Ching, the Channel Partnership Manager at Airwallex.
Hi everyone, I'm Ching.
Ching is the Channel Partnership Manager of Airwallex. She helps a lot of our clients during the onboarding process. So, Ching, are you ready to share us the update information about Airwallex?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's great. Let's start. Can you introduce Airwallex?
Yes, of course. Airwallex is a leading global financial platform for modern businesses, trusted by over 100,000 customers globally. We can help customers manage everything from payments, treasury, spend management, and embedded finance. And we're proudly founded in Melbourne, but you're very nice to visit us today in our Hong Kong office.
Yeah, passion.
To share a little bit more, we're a $5.6 billion valuation fintech backed by investors that you might have heard of. So that includes MasterCard, Sequoia, and Tencent. For this video, we're going to focus a little bit more on the business accounts for SMEs. So that includes for Hong Kong registered businesses. These business accounts are free to open. They help you move money internationally. And it also comes with corporate cards and payment gateway. And of course, other services that we'll talk about. So in short, if I had to describe it in one sentence, Airwallex is an all-in-one platform that streamlines the way SMEs receive, manage, and spend their funds. So it all helps them scale globally.
So Airwallex offered a business accounts for the SMEs and also help them to manage the fund, receive and handle the payments to the suppliers globally. It sounds very similar, like Wise. So, Ching, can you compare a bit about Airwallex and Wise?
Yes, so of course there are some similarities, and it's only natural to compare us to Wise. They are quite a big platform. If I were to make a comparison, I would say that Airwallex is a global company that is more Asia-Pacific focused, and of course at the same time also offers an all-in-one solution. So we, like I mentioned before, provide business accounts, FX, transfers, borderless cards, and payment gateway, and all of this is built with modern businesses in mind, and that's why Hong Kong is such an important market for us, because it has lots of different registered companies with over 1.4 million.
Yeah, so let's move on. What about the types of clients? Like what types of clients are most suitable for Airwallex? I mean, who will be eligible for Airwallex?
Yeah, so Airwallex, I would say, is ideal for Hong Kong companies. I mean, even for overseas companies, but today we're focusing on Hong Kong registered companies. And these companies can have local or overseas owners. Basically, any companies with cross-border business needs will be perfect for Airwallex.
Okay, so you mentioned the overseas owners. I would suppose they are having no physical substance in Hong Kong. Both director and shareholder, they are not working and living in Hong Kong. Does it matter to Airwallex?
No, it doesn't matter too much because it's a very common case. Hong Kong is such an international business hub. It's very common for directors or shareholders to be overseas. So we don't have too much of a problem onboarding businesses like this. The main things to keep in mind are we'll want to know your business nature and your source of funds.
Business nature. So can you give us some typical examples that Airwallex would accept of their business nature? You know me, I got a lot of clients from the e-commerce business selling Amazon's, Shopify's, online software, online coaching, something like that. Would they suit Airwallex?
Yeah, so those are all companies that would be perfect for Airwallex and are a really good fit. Everything you've mentioned so far, e-commerce sellers on Shopify, on Amazon, our other kind of key clients are either people doing trading. Of course, they'll need to make and receive payments from around the world, and then also business consultants, whether that's e-commerce coaching or any other types of business consultants that have cross-border payments. Those are also perfect.
So it already covers most of the common business right now. May I also know what kind of business that Airwallex may not support?
That is a really good question and an important question. We are a financial institution, so we have strong compliance requirements, just like any other financial institution, to protect our users and then, of course, our banking partners as well. For kind of the best answer, I would recommend searching for the Airwallex Acceptable Use Policy on Google. But in short, basically, if your business is related to sanctioned regions or does anything illegal, we won't be able to help you, but that's pretty basic. Other kind of business natures that we won't be able to support is if you're involved in cryptocurrencies, if you do any gambling, if you're in virtual assets, we won't be able to support businesses like that. One last thing to maybe keep in mind is if your business is regulated within Hong Kong, so for example, you sell fine jewelry, then we'll need to see the relevant licenses as well.
Okay, so sounds like Airwallex follows the general rules of other financial institutions, like the traditional banks. It makes sense under this anti-money laundering rules now, right? So we now know what is Airwallex doing. What about the onboarding procedures? Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, onboarding is very simple, it's quick, and it can be done completely remotely. If anyone watching has opened an online business account before, it'll be very similar to that process. So we have a very user-friendly platform, and I'm sure everyone watching the video, if you found this video, you'll be able to complete the process within 15 minutes. Basically, what we'll start with is we'll need their email, we'll need their phone number, and they can give us some simple business details. And then for the actual application part, once they're in, they can upload any business supporting documents directly onto the website, and we'll do basic KYC for both the shareholders and any directors, and that part is mandatory. Other things that will be very useful for us to know are the source of funds for the business, and since you work mostly with completely newly incorporated businesses, usually this means the founder's own personal savings. So we'll want to see their personal bank statements. The other thing is we'll want to know more about their business nature, and this means you can share your website. If you have one, you can share a little bit more about the services and products you provide, any kind of transactions, if you know about what the patterns of those will be. Sometimes I know it's hard for new companies to be able to provide this, but basically just share as much as you're able to based on what you plan to do for the business and maybe any projections you have, since that will help us give you a very comprehensive and fair review.
That makes sense. And actually, you have answered very important questions that every one of my clients, they will ask. And may I double confirm with you, is that the entire onboarding procedures can be done online? I mean, can be done remotely, completely. And I mean, both shareholder and the director, they are not required to visit Hong Kong during the onboarding sessions. Can you double confirm that? And what about the timeline?
Yeah, so you're entirely right. There's absolutely no need to come to Hong Kong.
Great.
Everything can be done completely online, and there's no need to really even get on a Zoom call. In terms of timeline, it takes about 5 business days, so within a week, but I've definitely seen a lot of cases where they've received the account and started doing their business in even less time than that.
I agree. So next, this is also a very common question from my clients. What are the differences between Airwallex and the traditional banks? I mean, can you highlight some key benefits of Airwallex?
Yeah, we get that question a lot as well. So Airwallex provides an alternative and even complementary solution to traditional banking. And of course, we both have our strengths. But I would say that the 4 main advantages of Airwallex, well, the first we've already covered is the simple application process, completely online, done within a week. And the second I would say is that there's no upfront cost for the client. So basically, once the customer wants to open an Airwallex account, there's no account opening fee, there's no minimum deposit, there's no monthly maintenance fee. They really have to start using it and then experience our pay-as-you-go pricing. The third is for clients with you, once they open a company with you, once they have their Hong Kong business registration, they can use that to open an Airwallex account. And that means that they'll be able to receive local bank account details in 11 different regions, not just Hong Kong. And those regions include Singapore, UK, US, Europe, Dubai, all of the major regions that you're doing business. And for example, in Hong Kong, our the banking partner is DBS Hong Kong and Standard Chartered. So it'll be, the account will be under the company name. Yeah, so the last one I would say for the fourth one, the main benefit is actually the fact that we're an all-in-one solution. So this account can have payment gateways, it can have Visa cards, it can have plugins with Shopify, and if you're using cloud accounting software like Xero or QuickBooks, we can integrate with that as well, which I know a lot of your clients are using. So we really aim to be an all-in-one platform that can take care of your entire suite of business and finance needs.
Okay, impressive. So Airwallex is providing the business account service, just like the traditional banks, and also very comprehensive. And that's why I always advise my clients to kickstart their business after the incorporations with Airwallex and other fintechs like Airwallex. It is the fastest way and easiest way to kickstart. And you mentioned an interesting point. You mentioned about the payment gateway service that Airwallex will provide. Is that similar to Stripe and PayPal?
I know you have more and more kind of e-commerce clients, so yes, a lot of people will compare us to Stripe and PayPal because they are familiar with these businesses. If I were to explain it simply, I would say that Stripe and PayPal does a portion of what Airwallex does, and it does the payments feature of what Airwallex does. So payments basically means any customers who needs to accept online card payments or perhaps local payment methods like Alipay or Klarna needs to accept those types of payments through their online store and connect it with, let's say, Shopify or a WooCommerce platform. And sometimes that can also take the form of sending out a payment link, so you can accept online payments that way as well.
Yeah. I mean, some clients also told me that there's a new options and also an alternative to Stripe and PayPal. Can you point out some advantages compared to Stripe and PayPal from Airwallex?
Absolutely, the biggest advantage is that we can help clients save a lot of money.
That's important.
Yeah, exactly, very important. Basically, this is because we can help clients accept payments in the currency that their shoppers are paying in, and we don't force any types of compulsory conversions to a different currency or a specific currency for managing those funds. So for example, if your Shopify store is in euros and your clients are paying you directly in euros, we can allow you to accept those payments also in euros, manage those funds in euros, and if you have to make any payments in euros, also do that directly. And there's no conversion there, so you can save on FX fees. We call that like-for-like settlements.
A quick summary. As per your insight and also my client experience, Airwallex looks perfect for the international entrepreneur, and because it has no restrictions about the owner's nationality, pace of business, and also it works well for the cross-border payments. And also right now you provide the payment gateway services. Ching, it sounds too good to be true to all of my clients. And to give our audience more concrete idea of how Airwallex can benefit them, I have prepared a case scenario for you. Is that all right?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
That's great. So let's say there's a client from France living in Thailand right now, has running a 7-figure Shopify business, selling to Europe and US, sourcing from China. It's very normal situations. And the business has nothing in Hong Kong. No customer, no supplier, no warehouse, employees in Hong Kong, nothing. And now he's considering to set up and move the entire e-commerce business to Hong Kong because of the tax advantages I always advise. But for the banking options, is Airwallex suitable for these clients? And or can I say how Airwallex could help?
Yeah, that sounds a lot like the clients that we have worked with before and are currently still working with. I would say we definitely welcome and work really well with these types of clients. So I think you mentioned just now that they're an e-commerce business. Maybe they already have a store that's running. Firstly, I would say that the first thing we could do for them is, let's say they've never heard of Airwallex before, and they don't know what our benefits are, they've never used our service. It's very natural for them to want to try it out first. And maybe they don't want to move all of their online payment acceptance directly from whatever they're using now and move it directly to Airwallex. Maybe they think it's a little risky. So what we would advise is that's not an issue. You can start using our accounts first. And if, let's say, you're collecting payments on Shopify, using Shop Pay or using Stripe, you can keep using that, but just use Airwallex to settle those payments, to receive those payments, so then you could try our services. The other is, you mentioned that they're in e-commerce, so very commonly they might have suppliers in China, or maybe they're paying you, their accountant, their advisor in Hong Kong dollars. They have to make payments to Hong Kong, so we can help them easily make those overseas payments as well. And the last is, a lot of online businesses will need to place Facebook ads or Google ads or have monthly subscriptions for, let's say, the Shopify platform. We have multi-currency Visa cards, which makes it very easy for them to pay directly in USD to, let's say, Google or Facebook, and there's no surcharges, so no foreign merchant fees. They can open up to 50 cards for easy expense management, so let's say 1 card for Google and 1 card for Facebook, and manage those ad spends there. And then one last thing I want to mention is, when they are ready to use the Airwallex Payment Gateway, they've given it a try, they have no big concerns, they can start using Airwallex to accept local payment methods. So for example, Klarna, maybe Alipay, WeChat Pay, Ban, Contact, Ideal, any of those local payment methods, they can simply connect our Shopify plugin onto their store, and then they can start accepting payments in all the different currencies that their shoppers are paying in.
I agree, and that's perfect. I mean, Airwallex provide them the account, they can adopt your service step by step, right? Until they trust it very well, and then it goes to a payment gateway. Okay, what about the information that Airwallex will ask for during the onboarding process and the timeline?
Yeah, so onboarding, of course, everything we've talked about just now to open the account, all of those basic business documents. And then once they have their account, or even while they're making the application, they'll need to make another kind of mini application for the payments product or for the payments feature. So this example, the client already has a Shopify store, they're already running. So we would like to see their last 3 months of processing history. So they can share a screenshot of what the back end of their Shopify or their Stripe looks like. And we would like to see their rough transaction volumes, their store details, any dispute or chargeback rates. And then in terms of how long it will take to set up that payments feature, it only takes a few days. So including integration, we would say maybe about a week.
About a week, so let's say 5 working days.
Exactly.
So it's super efficient, and everything can be done online. That's important. And one last question. What if the client is not from France? What if he is from US?
It's exactly the same. We have a lot of US-owned companies as well.
Okay, that's fantastic. Great. Thank you so much for your insight today, Ching.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm sure your information is quite useful for those that are still struggling about banking options in Hong Kong before they incorporate. So now you should have key information about how Airwallex can actually work for the Hong Kong company. If you want the personal advice on your situations, feel free to book me a consultation call for professional advice. See you in the next one.